Hello and welcome back. Well, I'm just having a look at the reference material that I do have for the rear landing gear. It's interesting how the various models of the Messerschmitt do sort of vary in their design. Here we can see that it's cut out along that section, which would accommodate the wheel here, and along this section. Whereas on this model of a Messerschmitt, it seems, well, slightly different there. Also, these actually look as though they're retractable. I can see hinged and pivot points there, and that suggests that, yes, it can be drawn up into the fuselage, whereas on this drawing here, this diagram, it doesn't seem to be the case. There's a fixed pivot point there, or a fixed hinge point, and there, but it doesn't look as though it's retractable at all. On here we can see that there is one of those rubber flexible hoses, whereas nothing on there. That indicates that there is some shock absorbance there, and the bright steel here is an indication of that also. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, well, this is the area that we're going to be working on in this and subsequent sessions. So, yeah, let's get cracking. First of all, we're going to select our fuselage and put it into transparency mode, so that's Alt X on the keyboard. Yes, this is a section that we're going to be creating, and I think what we need to do is add some subdivisions into the fuselage in this area. So let's pop up to our swift loop. Actually going to place one just there. Let's have a look. We can see it there, but I want to give ourselves a little bit of room, so one about there. Right click to end those actions. Now we could of course use our cut tool to actually cut out this shape here, or we could use some Boolean expressions. I think in this case we're going to use Boolean again. So I'm going to pop into the root, go down, select polygon. Let's open this up a little bit so we can see a bit more. So we've got polygon. I'm going to uncheck ignore back facing, and then let's select, I'm going to start selecting these polygons there. Pressing Control, what I want to do is select these down that section as well. I've grabbed some, let's undo that. I grabbed some polygons on this section here which I don't want, so let's try that again. There we go. Right, now that we have those, I want to detach. Detach as clone, and what we're going to call this, call it rear wheel housing. That'll do me. It's only a temporary name anyway. Say OK for that. Well, this is the area that we're going to work with, so we don't really need to have the fuselage visible. So let's pop up to root. I'm going to go Control Alt X, pop up into our layers manager. Now RWH is in there, but as we are going to attach it to the fuselage eventually, it can remain there. Okay, I'm going to hide the fuselage. I think I'll hide the front wing as well. Yeah, anything else needs hiding? No. Yeah. Now, so this is the part that we're going to be working on. First of all, let's go to our bottom view, so that's B on the keyboard. And now let's pop up to our create panel, Standard primitives, no, it's not in there what I'm requiring, so we're about extended primitives. Capsule, there we go. Okay, let's have a look at this. Right about center there. Let's create that. Push it back to give it some depth. Left click to end that action. Now, snap on. Let's have a look at rotate. What I want to do is rotate that 90 degrees. Okay. Let's grab our tool layer and just bring it up to about there. Now we can pop into our left viewport, so that's L on the keyboard, Z to zoom, and let's just pull back a little bit. Okay, what I need to do now is convert this to an editable poly. Now let's put it into perspective viewport and zoom around a little bit. Come in a touch closer, up to polygons, ignore back facing, I want that checking. Our select object tool, what I want to do now is just select those polygons there. Yep, that's fine. Now we're going to extrude them. Let's extrude. Let's have a look. Extrude those a little bit further. Maybe a touch further. Say OK. Into our left viewport. Zoom. Yep, that's not too bad, isn't that? These may need to be a little bit longer, so into vertices. W for our select to move. Let's just bring those up. Undo. Ignore back facings on. So let's select those again. Oh, come on. Stop being a pain. Let's make that just a tad longer. Up to root once again, and now I'm going to rotate. No. Vertices again. Right. Let's think about this, Michael. Let's start here. What I want to do is select all those vertices which are close to the center, but not the center ones. Let's drag this up now. A little bit about there. Back to root, and now we can rotate. Let's just take snap off for a moment. There. W for our select to move. What I want to do now is just take that up into there, so it lines up with what was the middle section. Pull it down a little bit. Come on. Yep, so it just lines up there. That's quite nice. Now you'll notice that the intersection here looks a little bit jagged, and it is, and it comes down to how our polygons are set out with the intersection. So what I want to do is apply a turbo smooth to this. I'm going to give it iterations 2, then I'm going to collapse it down to a polygon again. So editable poly. Now deselect that, and I want to select this, and we'll go Alt X, and I also want to apply a turbo smooth to that. And as you can see, that the jaggedness is beginning to smooth out. So let's increase those iterations to 2, and now we can see that it is quite smooth in that section. And let's now convert that to an editable poly. And now let's pop over to our create panel. We're looking for compound objects, and let's go Pro Boolean. We should be familiar with this now. Okay, so this part is selected, as we can see, union. We want a subtraction. We don't need any cookie attached to it. So let's start picking. There we go, capsule. Let's select that. Put it into perspective mode. Let's have a quick look around. And yes, there it is. It's been created, and that geometry looks quite sharp, crisp and clean. So what we can do is deselect start picking, and let's convert this now to an editable poly. Let's go to our left view, Z to zoom in again. Right, well, what we need to do now is insert this back into the fuselage. So let's hide it for a bit. Layers Manager. Let's hide that and unhide our fuselage. Close that down for a moment. Let's pull back. Select our fuselage, Alt X, go up to select, want it on polys, ignore back facing, unchecked. Let's zoom in a bit here. So I'm selecting these down here, those there, those, and was it these here? I'm sure it was. Yep, and then we can press delete. Let's now unhide fuselage, unhide that. There we go. Select, let's come up to there, Alt X so we can see what we're doing, and let's now attach this section here. And there we go, all done and dusted for that. Mindful of the time and the fact that the system has just crashed again, we'll continue this in the next session. Okay, I'll catch you later.